Okay, Sally, please check my yeah, please check my bookmark whether it's correct or not. Sally, just correct. We are supposed to be here, huh?
145.
Yeah, here is 145. Just correct. 145, huh? So
145.
Which
in China.
Which one paragraph?
In China.
In China, we should begin here, right?
Mm.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so class, let's take a look, huh?
So if we make it bigger slightly.
Okay, yes. So class, let's take a look. Now we are in the verse number 82. The precept of the monastic are grouped into 5: Sramanika, Sramanerika, Bhikshu, Bhikshuni, and Siksamana. Okay, so, well, they are all renounced actually lah. So Sramanera is the male, Bhikshu is the male, Bhikshu also is the male lah. Sramanerika is a Bhikkhuni. Bhikshuni is the Bhikkhuni. So Bhikkhu, Bhikkhuni, they are considered higher ordinations. Sramanera, Sramaneria, they are considered the primary stage. You can call it as a probation period. Okay. Then the last one, class, we got one group called as a Siksamana. Why there's a Siksamana? Because in ancient Indian, some lady, they just after marry, then they realized that they want to become a nun. So they renounce. So after renounce, in the very beginning, they without any probation period, then they're pregnant. So it looks awkward, right? Oh, the bhikkhuni, some nun is pregnant. So that's why there must be a Siksamana, meaning to say that once you become a nun, okay, there must be a probation period longer to test, to make sure that you are free from any pregnancy, and then give you high ordination. So that's why there's a Siksamana, and this is, specific for lady only and not available for men. That's the reason. Well, in the previously, that is the purpose for the Siksamana, but later on it become culture already. So all bhikkhuni, they have to go through the stage of the Siksamana, Sramaneri, Siksamana, and they become a bhikkhuni lah. So it makes it more complicated a little bit. Okay. Whereas now in Theravada, since bhikkhuni is extincted already, so what can you see? Just only 8 preceptor only, or 10 preceptor in Myanmar. You don't see some more. So class, let's take a look. This is the picture. You know how you see. Okay, in Thailand, they call it as a Mechi lah, 8 preceptor. Let me see. Mechi in Thailand. Okay, they were in the what dancing school? How come? How come Thai dancer? Okay, Mechi. Okay, maybe I put 8 preceptor. 8 preceptor. Oh, still wrong already. So what should I put is 8 precept. Oh. Yeah, you see, they are wearing the white robe. This is the Thailand, 8 preceptor. Okay, well, this is the Myanmar 10 preceptor. Not this one. Not this one. It's this. This one. Okay. So they are this color, in the pink color. They are the 10 preceptor. Okay. Okay. Let's have a look. So we are talking about the precept. Okay. Class, why do we talk about the precept? The reason is because, let's take a look. So we already in the stage, finished the stage 1, explaining the difference in the types of the people who undertake this path. So we already stage 2, explaining the elements that make up this plan. So 4 noble truth. Actually, we are in the 8th noble path. So class 1, we are in the 8th noble path. We'll talk about the precepts. You see or not? 8 noble Eightfold Path, we'll talk about the precept. So under the precept, we start talking about, let me see how, under the precepts, we start to talk about this part. I mean, for the preceptor, 8 preceptor, and also the 10 preceptor. So let's take a look. Okay. So it's a Sramanera. So in the previous lesson, we talked about during 8 precept, there will be 10 rules so that you have to follow, okay, during the 8 precept. So 5 precept, we add another 3. So one more is no more, I mean, wearing the ornament, okay, for beautification. No more using the perfume or including maybe the fragrance soap, all this thing. Then no more, I mean, just use luxury beds, okay, and then for the sexual misconduct is totally go to no sexual activity. Sexual misconduct, from sexual misconduct to to chastity, see. Then let's take a look. So in China, okay, so we say we do alms for the food lah, so we mentioned regards the culture. Then we start cook ourselves. Okay. So next paragraph, the 3rd and 4th group, yeah, okay. Kamling, your turn to read, please. The 3rd and 4th group.
The 3rd and 4th group, the bhiksu and bhikshuni precepts, are those who live completely away from evil and sensuous conduct, monks and nuns who form the principal body of the Sangha. A bhiksu, the word means mendicant, is a practitioner who lives by begging for alms. The female is called a bhikshuni. As regards their content, the bhiksu and bhikshuni precepts are equally complete. But because of social relationship and different emotional strengths, the Buddha established separate bhiksu and bhikshuni precepts. In all, there are 250 precepts for bhikshus and 500 precepts for bhikshunis. This number is only approximate. In fact, the bhikshuni precepts, which are much stricter than bhiksu precepts, number about 340. In the fully developed system of the Sangha, after leaving home, they has to receive the Shramanera or Shramanerika precept first, and then receive the bhiksu or bhikshuni's precept. The original system established by the Buddha was intended to admit those adults who of their own free will took refuge in the 3 treasures and voluntarily vowed to leave home. The Buddha said to such persons, "Welcome, bhiksu, quickly practice pure conduct in my Dharma." Thereby they could be considered to have received the bhiksu precepts and become bhiksus. Originally, they were not required to have the rank of Shramanera, let alone have received the Shramanera precepts. Later, for the sake of the orphan children of his deceased disciples, the Buddha compassionately allowed those older than 7 to become Samanerikas, and receive Samanera's precepts. When these children reached the age of 20, they could receive the bhiksu precepts. Ever since the Buddha permitted this, there has been a preparatory rank prior to that of the bhiksunis. Those who gave up lay life when older than 20, or who gave up lay life without the complete causes and conditions, and therefore did not receive the bhiksu precepts, were also called old Samaneras. Nevertheless, in the Sangha system, if one gives up lay life at the age 20 or later, although one directly receives the bhiksu precepts without having received the Samanera precepts, one still attains the precepts that accord with the Buddha's original intention. From the perspective of a completely developed system of the Sangha, however, this is not ideal.
Okay, thank you so much. Please highlight the point. Okay. Raise hand, please, once you finish. Okay, class, let's take a look. If let's say you go to take, you see, do you see this is a little girl, right? Okay, so basically, actually, we begin talk about is the Xiao Sami, Stramanera. Okay. In Buddha time, some they send the orphanage to the Sangha community. Well, since their age is not exceeding 20 years old, they are disqualified, become a bhikkhu, so they become a stramanera. So actually, they got a few types of the stramanera. Some stramanera, their job is because they're too young, maybe they just chase away some birth, or because in temple, sometimes they have to they got some job. Okay, for example, if let's say some grains it's too wet, they have to expose to the sun, then the birds might come in. So they will ask the stramanera, the little boy go to chase away that. So they got a few type of the stramanera. Basically, they are too young. Whereas for Shakyamuni Buddha, he himself got one kids. Okay, so since the whole family from Shakyans want to renounce under the custody of the Shakyamuni, so his son Rahula also become a stramanera at that time. So this is for them. But if let's say your age is over 20, you are entitled to become a bhikkhu, immediately become the bhikkhu. Then the precept is about 250. But if you, and same for the lady, okay, if the age exists more than 20, you are eligible to become a bhikkhuni. But I think this is quite depends on the temple nowadays. In the old times, as long as your age is really mature enough, you are eligible already to become the bhikkhu or bhikkhuni. But nowadays, most of the temple will request you to become a stramaneri, maybe for 1 year or 2 years, just to test you whether you are really want to stay your monkhood for a really long period or as for a whole life. So better have a try first. So you won't just in and out come and go. Because for the bhikkhuni, you are entitled for once in a lifetime only as a bhikkhuni. Oh, so once you renounce, then you cannot become a bhikkhuni some more. But for monk, okay, for man, okay, once we become a bhikkhu, we got 7 chances or 7 times. We can just come and go 7 times. Okay, well, it seems like discrimination, right? For bhikkhu precept is a 250, bhikkhuni is a 500. So modern day people always say, hey, discrimination. I will sue you. Okay. Why it happened this way? Maybe why we have to have why Buddha have to adopt this type of system? Okay, I think the best example is in Olympic lah. So class, you know that in Olympic, we got Olympic and Paralympic. Paralympic is for OKU only. Olympic is for the normal people. This is not discrimination because if you put OKU and the normal people into the competition, then all gone already, all OKU. So we have to separate that. It doesn't mean it's discrimination because if you don't separate them, then it will happen in this way. Same man, no matter any games, men and women have to be compete separately. Man compete between the man, woman between the women. For example, like badminton, if you pen a man and woman all together, maybe the woman number 1, I don't know, maybe rank number 5 or 6 or 7. It's not fair for a woman. So that's why we have to separate men and women. It's not discrimination because they are different in nature. So we separate them so that it is more fair how we separate them, you see. Likewise, for the bhikkhuni, why they observe 500 precepts is due to the emotionally and physical. For example, in ancient times, according to rules, you see, if the woman, if the bhikkhuni go out, they must be accompanied by other bhikkhuni. They have to be accompanied by other bhikkhuni once they goes out. Because in India, at that time, Indian, I think quite bad how to say the 治安the discipline how should I pray 治安很差劲玉华讲治安is very bad it's not in proper order so women they need another one to accompany them for protective purpose. Okay, but of course like for example these rules now put to today's so Elena, do you think you go you need another woman to accompany you? Do you think so? No need, right? But so that's why the attitude to the precept, there's one type is the progressivism, another type is the conservative. Conservative, you try to observe the precept the way like 2,000 years ago. So once the text mentioned one bhikkhuni come out must be accompanied by another bhikkhuni, so they don't bother. They just exactly they will ask another bhikkhuni so that they would infringe the rule which laid out 2,000 years ago. Whereas for the more progressive people, progressivism, they will think that, oh, it's not logic. Nowadays, everything is in the proper order, so sure, we can go out. No? It doesn't matter, you see. So it depends the way how you interpret the Vinaya. We've got the open type and also got the conservative type. Okay, Mr. Leong, I let you talk first. Any question, Mr. Leong? Yeah, you can talk now, Mr. Leong. Please off your camera. Mr. Leong, off your camera, please. Working ready. Off your camera, Mr. I don't hear.
The bhikkhu have the bhikkhu. You hear me?
I can hear you now. Can you please begin from the first sentence? Additionally, I can tell you, Sally is so happy at this moment. Yeah, you can start now. Okay.
I thought the bhikkhu have 227 precepts instead of 250.
Oh, I think it depends on which one. Under Dhammakutta, I think Dhammakutta is our tradition. It's about 250. 257, I think maybe under the Theravada tradition. Okay. No response. Okay. So Elena, your turn. Yes. About discrimination. Yes, please.
I thought Buddha also says that whenever even is the bhikkhu who goes out.
Okay.
Okay. So Elena, your turn ready. Okay.
Then when the bhikkhu goes out, they are supposed to go out at least in 2 persons instead of 1.
No. Bhikkhu is 1 only, but bhikkhuni have to be 2.
You remember the time when Ananda went to
during the Surangama, right? Then there's one prostitute.
From there said there must be accompanied by 1 more instead of just going alone.
Oh no, in our Vinaya it doesn't state it. It doesn't state it in this way. So in Vinaya, basically, a bhikkhuni have to be accompany another one, because they are quite vulnerable compared with the men. Of course, nowadays, men and women both are not safe, I think. But I think comparatively, men is a little bit different due to the masculine. So they're still a little bit different. So I think class, once there is a difference, once you want to talk about discrimination, I think you still have to define the definition of discrimination, the definition of the discrimination, so that we won't confuse. So there must be Paralympic and the Olympic. There must be the men and women different group for competition. So you have to make yourself clear first, or we are all very confused. Like Elena, right? We say, okay, we just want to employ Chinese only. They say, oh, discrimination. But I want the staff to read all the Chinese paper, all the Chinese letter. You employ the Malay, they cannot read. Am I right? So you have to know first what is the meaning of discrimination. It's about the eligibility, and also the talent, and also something.
Any Sifu, any changes after 2000 years? The rules and regulations is still the same. For women, it's still once only.
Oh, of course, we know. Mr. Leong, I cannot mute you. Quite hard. I cannot mute you, Mr. Leong. You mute yourself, please. Okay. Okay. Well, Kam Ling, basically the rules laid out 2000 years ago, it passed from one generation to another generation. Okay. So since the rule is 2000 years ago, the text, I mean the historical background, yes, you can date it about 2000 years ago. But nowadays, the people, we got two ways to interpret it. So the open-minded people, they won't follow word by words. They will see, oh, now the word is different. We have changed the thing already. So in China, they just set up the new rules. They set up the new rule because the rule is obsolete already. Okay. Whereas for the Orthodox, they will 100% follow. The good example is in Thailand forest monk. Okay, the good example for Muslim is the Taliban. You see, Taliban, they follow the 2000 years ago the rule. This is 100% conservative. I think Malaysia also pro-conservative. Okay, whereas the Muslim open mind, where can you got? I think the Turkey. Am I right, Elena? You went to Turkey, Oh, I heard that they're very, very sexy. You don't look like a Muslim. They're very open mind. So no matter which one religions are, I mean, the text is kept for 1,000 years. But how we interpret it depends on the teacher you follow. Okay. So you follow me, you will enjoy your life very much because very open. Of course, you ask me, I will interpret the way, follow the real trends. Have to. Am I right? I don't think I'm orthodox. I think I'm quite open actually. So some Orthodox people, they don't like us. They say, wow, you are so open. It seems the Vinaya is nothing already. They say. But of course, we still got some rules. Okay. So coming, got it already or not? Okay. So where you want, if you want to become a monk or nun, you have to choose which one you just fit your mindset or not, conservative or open or progressivism. Progressivism. Okay. Yeah. Okay, let's take a look. Okay, we finished this already. Now we go to the fifth category, the Siksamana precept. Yes, Amanda, your turn to read, please.
The fifth category, the Siksamana precepts, were for women in the rank above the Srama Narika and below the Bhikshuni. The Siksamanas, the term means women studying the Dharma, were to receive and keep the 6 Dharma precepts for 2 years. Initially, when the Buddha allowed women to join the Sangha, there was only the rank of Bhikshuni. Later, the Srama Narika rank was added, and still later, the Siksamana. This became the 3 ranks of monastic women. The reason for these additions was that there were some women who had been married before leaving home and were already pregnant. After they received the Bhikshuni precepts, their pregnancy became visible and they gave birth. This led to ridicule and suspicion among ordinary people who defamed the Sangha. So the Buddha established the Siksamana rank for all married women above the age of 10. In India, women were married as young group. Over 18, after taking the Srama Narika precepts, they received the 6 Dharma precepts for 2 years. Although at the beginning, the purpose was to eliminate the possibility of pregnancy, later it became a very rigorous stage of testing. If these women broke the 6 Dharma precepts within the 2 years, they could not take the Bhikshuni precepts. Instead, they could take the 6 precepts for another 2 years, and then if they keep the precepts strictly, advance to the Bhikshuni precepts. These rules were much more strict than Sramanarika precepts. Some persons are of unstable temperament and give up easily. So before women were allowed to become Bhikshunis, they had to pass this rigorous test. Among Catholics, nuns are questioned 3 times before leaving home. This is much stricter than for men. Such a system probably was never propagated in China and possibly was not respected in India either. This is because the Sramanera and Sramanarika precepts, as well as the Bhiksu and Bhikshuni precepts, are generally similar. Although there are some differences among different schools, the main exception is the 2 years of the 6 Dharma precepts, which different schools handle differently.
Okay, thank you so much. Please highlight the point. Raise hand, please, once you finish. So class, you see, according to the text, we notice that number 1, okay, the rule seems more stricter for a woman than a man. Okay, again, it's not the discrimination. Okay. Because for women, in order to become Bhikkhuni, you have to go through Sramanarika, Siksamana, and then the Bhikkhuni. But for men, just Sramanera and then the Bhikkhu. Okay. Well, maybe I ask you all first, in a simple investigation, a simple survey. Do you agree that for temperamental, generally, women are more temperamental than men? You agree? Please raise your hand. You agree that more temperamental comparatively, Elena disagree. No. Yeah. Yogwa, yes. How about the rest? You totally disagree. So we can't talk already because we don't have a fundamental to begin. Okay, maybe second, talk about how about the jealousy? Generally, do you think women are more jealousy than men? You agree, please, bro? 1, 2. 2 people, then the rest disagree. Ayungsi, you don't respond. then people say discrimination. Let the woman judge themselves. Am I right? Let the woman judge themselves. I mean, generally, of course, if you want the real result, maybe you need to do some scientific research and then maybe publish in Lancet or the Nature, or maybe it's more convincible with that. So what we say is generally. So actually here we see more stricter rule for the woman is due to this reason, the inborn nature. Inborn nature. Why women more temperamental? I think maybe because also due to the period. Due to the period. Once the period, maybe before and after, the loss of the blood will cause the woman more emotional, and maybe also the thyroids. Am I right? So for men, they don't have this type of physical, biological problem. So it's not a discrimination because of the inborn with some, it will inborn a little bit advantages. So that's why in the sutra, some they will mention that after you chant the Greek compassionate mantra or the Dizang Jing, so aiming to turn woman body become a man body, so it will appear, but we never see the man want to become a woman. Never see one, because man, the physical, the biological, the man the biological of the man, physical body is more simple compared with the woman, because we don't have the pregnancy. So because woman, the mechanism of the biological of the woman prepare for the pregnancy, so a lot of structure will be different. You see a lot. Of course, the hand, how to say, the hand to shake the what tangan yang 摇篮的手可以震动整个世界。How should I translate? The hand who shake
The hands that rocks the cradle.
The cradle, then can shake the whole world, right? Yeah. Of course, we have to recognize your advantage, so you feel more happy. Okay, so that is the meaning of why there will be some stricter rule. Okay, but one question is very funny. You see, what the Siksamana? Siksamana, it appears some women, once they shake their head, then the pregnant become visible. People gossip, right? So we have a Siksamana. But you see, as we know, Shakyamuni got psychic, right? Why Shakyamuni doesn't predict all this and prevent it and let the thing happen? Then he said, we laid down the rule to have a Siksamana to avoid this case. How come this happened? Shakyamuni got psychic, what? So this is a little bit difficult question. Mr. Leong, I don't know, Mr. Leong first. Maybe let's Elena answer first. Why got psychic, what? Right? Know everything, what? Still letting happen, right?
That day he forgot to do it.
I forgot. So you are the discrimination. You discriminate Buddha and the normal people. What do you think? Quite hard to explain, right? There, Mr. Leong. Yeah. The most intelligent old man here. Okay. Yes, Mr. Leong. Where are you? No response. The line is too bad. Yeah. Okay. Wait, the way I see, basically Shakyamuni, he wouldn't a class in order to make the psychic effective. Sometimes you have to intend to it, meaning to say that you must have, you have to start. You have to start the button now, like the fan won't rotate by itself. You have to press the on button, then the fan will on, right? Psychic is something like that. You have to press the on button. But as normal people, we don't use the psychic all the time. You see, according to Sutra, Shakyamuni also in the very early morning, he will go to take a bowl and go out for Pindabat. So you also can ask why he knows psychic. He don't just like a magician, make everything appear. Am I right? Or no, what? He just like a normal people, go for a Pindabat, and then later on he have to wash his leg and then sit down and eat. So he knows psychic. Why he doesn't perform everything with psychic? Why he just have a living like you and I? So meaning to say that if you don't press the button, it won't happen in this way. Likewise, the same. For you, if you got a psychic, so preferably you please apply the visa and wear the mask, go to the airplane and then go to American and go to custom. You better go through all the procedure. Don't use a psychic immediately you reach to the America. Why? Because it will cause a lot of trouble. You know what I mean? It causes a lot of trouble. So we don't simply use the psychic without any necessary, because everything they got the karma. The karma actually power is more stronger than the psychic. So that's why even though Shakyamuni try to prevent the massacre of the Sakyan, but he failed. Even though Mongalana put all the members of the Sakyan inside a bowl, but finally they all turn up become the blood. Why? Because it's still to the karma. So the psychic cannot fight against the karma. Karma is still the strongest. So meaning to say that even though you got psychic, you still have to buy the insurance because you cannot avoid. You can, even though you can foresee the accident but you still have to pay the bill. You see, psychic cannot pay the bill for you, so the insurance company can pay for you. Am I right? So that's why we don't use psychic to solve all the problem. We use the knowledge in the mundane world to solve it. Okay. So next paragraph. So I think we finished already the point here. Let's see. Yeah, we discussed all this already. So next paragraph. SJ, your turn. The 10 recitation precept.
The 10 recitation precept of the old Sravastivadin school and the 4 divisions of precept of the Dharmagupta school, both of which are described as the 6 precepts, are not entirely the same. The Bhikkhuni Vinaya of the new Sravastivadin school describes 2 years of the 6 precepts and the 6 associated behaviors, 2 sets of 6 precepts. The Samhika Vinaya of the Mahasangika school describes 2 years of the associated behaviors and the 18 events, 3 sets. The ancient description of the requirements for the 2 years of the 6 precepts were the same, but the content of the precepts differed. Such different custom existed, no one imagined, because the ancient 6 samana system had not been strictly carried out for a very long time.
Okay, never mind, stop here. I have to explain all this terminology. Please highlight the point first. Okay. This is a little bit difficult. I have to retell you the history of Buddhism. I see. Due to this 3 terminology. Okay. Sally, can you remember this 3 terminology? How the diagram? Sally, can you remember the diagram? Sally, the answer should be cannot, I think. You haven't answered me.
Cannot.
I see. I know already. You see. So I have to retell the story again and again. Okay. Okay, please. Okay. So finish highlight. So let me show you. I will send you the diagram. So let me just talk about this first. Let's see. Okay, so this is the diagram. Let me show you. Okay, class, take a look. Okay, so just now, there's 3 terminology you encounter. One is a Mahasangika. Do you see here? There's one more is a Savastivada. Class, take a look. Let's see the Savastivadin. Okay, so the previous lesson, Elena and also Sally, remember Sautantrika. You see, here is the word. Sautantrika is here. Okay, so this is Savastivada. There's one more word is the Dharmagupta. Do you see it? Dharmagupta, you see it? Okay. Basically, this is the different school of thought. After Buddha Parinibbana, within 400 years, within 200 years, the splitting is in this way. But basically, they got a different version regarding the splitting. So this splitting, Yogwa, is a little bit different with the what I use in Mandarin class. But I can't find the English translation in the Mandarin class, the Mandarin class version. So I use this version. It doesn't matter. Just roughly we know that. So let's take a look. Meaning to say in the very beginning, Okay, the Mahasamgika is quite related to the Mahayana. Okay, according to the history of Buddhism, it relates to the Mahayana. And you see, this is the Stivara. Basically, after Buddha Parinirvana, we split to two groups. Generally, Mahasamgika is the young monk. This one, we call it a Stavira. They are more the conservative, the old people. Okay, same, okay, then here, I mean, there will be some history here. Then some scholars suggest Mahayana Buddhism quite relate to the Mahasamgika. Okay, then, but this is quite old school. Whereas for this class, take a look. Okay, here, if you discover the words Savastivada, right? Then from the Savastivada here, we're able to see the Dharma Gupta, right? Okay, this school is say this is under the Savastivada. Okay, the Dharma Gupta. Well, Dharma Gupta is the Vinaya for most of the Mahayana monk observe. It's the Dharma Gupta here. Okay, whereas the Theravada here, I don't see the Theravada here. I don't see. It's not available, so you can see here. So I will send you the diagram, then you know this. Okay, they've got one more diagram again. Let's take a look. Let me show you. Not this. Let's take a look to see how. Well, just now, okay, same from Samga become Mahasamgika and the Stivara. All right. So Stivara split and the second and the third council. So we were able to see Savastivada. Okay, we mentioned just now. Then we see the Theravada. So this is the Theravada as we know today. Basically, this Stivara, in this situation of Savastivada, Theravada, in Buddha time, actually they are all, let's see. Yeah, before the third council. Okay, let's take a look. Hang already. Okay, a class before the third council, basically, the Buddhism are just only one here only. Okay, but during the third council, okay, class C, during the third council, the Theravada, they are from this part, they go to the Sri Lanka. Okay, whereas for Savastivada, they are from here, they go to the east, Xibei, they are, but once Buddhism go to the China, from the Savastivada, let's take a look from Northwest Indian and the Mahayana, they come to the China. The culture of the China is highly developed with the Taoism and the Confucianism. So Buddhism take times to integrate and meld together in the pot of the China. So that's what you see me, you see. So actually this wearing is the Tang dynasty. Basically we used to speak Mandarin, right? Okay, and then we use chopstick, you see. Buddha time, where got Shakyamuni use chopstick to eat. Shakyamuni used hand, right? And the rope is one piece only, right? I see or not? So meaning to say here, this is the Chinese Buddhism. You can see from me, Chinese Buddhism. Whereas if you go to Theravada country, you see the Thai monk, Myanmar monk, especially the forest one, you can feel that it's just like a Shakyamuni time. This is the reason why the difference is there. Here we already integrate with the Chinese culture, but for Thailand, no, they're just very pure. They absorb 100% from Indian, but they do a little bit modification, not as much as us. Okay, so this is a little bit history regards this. Okay, do you see or not? Savastivada, Dhammakupta, Mahasamgika. Okay, so I will send you the later on. Can you check for me? The footnote for 22 and 23, can you check for me? Is what? Is from where? Savastivadin and Dhammakupta. On the mic, please. What is the preferences?
22 is Shi Song Lu. Monastic could intend recitation.
Okay. It's
20.
under Vinaya text. Okay. Then the 23rd, 23.
Si Fen Lu, Dharma Guptaka Vinaya.
Oh, I see. It all belongs to the Vinaya lah. So for you, it's quite string. They are the stranger for you lah. So never mind. So we roughly know it could the Vinaya text. Okay. So we go further some more. So Yongxin, your turn to read, please.
Although among Buddhists there are 2 groups of lay people and 5 groups of monastics, and among precepts there are 8 categories. If the standing nearby 8 precepts are included, the essence of the pure precepts guarding against wrongdoing and stopping evil, as well as engendering concentration and wisdom, is still the same. So whether they are lay people or monastics, men or women, children or adults, only those who have sincere faith and have developed the essence of the pure precepts will be able to rely on them to be liberated from birth and death. Among these, the full precepts are the truly superior. Receive these solemnly, guard them carefully, and do not lose or spoil them. Among these 8 categories of precepts, those that are received by the bhikshus and the bhikshunis are called full precepts. Full is the old translation. The new translation is near completion, which means close to nirvana. Receiving the bhikkhu and the bhikkhuni precepts brings one close to nirvana. If kept purely, every category of precept established by the Buddha can engender concentration and wisdom and liberate one from birth and death. In comparison to the other categories of precepts, the bhikkhu and bhikkhuni precepts enable one to transcend the world, to live a life apart from desire. In a world full of materialistic ones, only the most rigorous and pure precepts have the ability to overcome desire. Such precepts are truly superior. After receiving the full precepts, these people become the Sangha, treasure and the principal body of the Sangha, and are able to receive offerings from people and divine beings. Receiving the full precept is therefore difficult. With regards to age, one has to be at least 20. With regards to the teacher and transmitting the precepts, one has to have 3 preceptors, a master monk, a karmacharya, and an instructor, acharya. There must also be 7 monks as witnesses. In the outlying regions where the Buddha Dharma is not flourishing, at least 3 preceptors and 2 witnesses are required. Compared to the lay precepts revised from 1 preceptor, and the Sramanera and Sramanerika precepts received from 2 preceptors, these are obviously more difficult to receive. To receive the bhikkhuni precepts, people have to receive 2 years of 6 precepts first, and then receive the precept from the 2 sections. This is a solemn event indeed. Those who want to receive the full precept must obtain the 3 regulation garments, the preceptors and the approval of the Sangha. Then with a solemn and sincere mind and so many favorable factors, one can receive the full precepts. Since it is so difficult to receive them, one should treasure them and guard them carefully, the way one would a life preserver when crossing the ocean, or the way people protect their eyes. Do not become careless and idle or spoil such an invaluable treasure under the temptation of the environment or the impulses of afflictions. If one cannot follow these superior precepts in order to be born as human or divine being, or to be liberated from birth and death, but instead loses the human body while wearing the kasaya, monk's robe, this is a very sad thing.
Okay, thank you so much. Please highlight the point.
我是打算拜一下午或者是傍晚应该是下午了，吃饱饭过后过去就后来住一个晚上，拜二。
Okay, class, take a look. Basically, in Mahayana ordination, you will see how grand the ceremony. Class, take a look this diagram. Okay, the person who is wearing the red color, the statues, how many is it? Anyone, please try to count for me. Totally, how many? How many, Yongsin?
My first counting is 22.
22, okay. Well, why there is the 22? Actually, the 22, 10 is a monk, 10 is a nun. In order to become a bhikkhu, we need 10 preceptors, 10 monks. Okay, 10 monks totally. I mean, they will recognize through the ceremony. Okay. For bhikkhuni, a nun, they need 10 nuns, but they need another 10 monks. So totally a bhikkhuni, in order for a higher ordination, a woman need 20 people to signify, the enrollment as a member of a Sangha community. Okay, it seems, it looks difficult. It seems that once you attain the ceremony, they will be fine, right? But actually, the way I see is because from the one fat guy, there's one fat guy, he wished to become a Sramanera, but for 3 times failed. Why? So number one, the first time he's in the Guan Yin Tang. He said, okay, I want to become a monk. So in order to become a monk, you have to prepare many things. You have to prepare the bowl for him, prepare the sach, okay, for him. But just to know somehow, so tomorrow is the time for the ordination. Then suddenly he's emotional and he burst in tears and he said, no, I want to go already. Please let me go. I don't want to become ordination anymore. He just persists like that, so no people can stop him. So fail already, first time. Then second time again, don't know why he said, oh, I want to become a monk again. It's about 40 something already. So it happened in, I think in Sarawak or Sabah. Again, okay, so we people mentioned to him that you be careful, don't happen first time again. So he said, okay, no problem. So better just lock down the door, so he doesn't have no place to run away. You see, so before the audition, they locked down the door for him, But again, just the day before the ordination, happened again. You see, he just don't know why. He said, I don't like again. The defilement keep on rising. He said, you have to unlock the door for me. And he's threatening for that, you see. So they unlock the door for him. So he just ran away again. So second time still not successful. Third time also the same. So until now, he still stay in the layman organization and haven't become a monk yet. 3 times already, So we need to say, don't know why. For some people, they got so many obstacles. Oh, and the obstacle sounds logic, not sounds logic, meaning to say, don't know why, just cannot be success. Some nun also same in Sandawana, they want to become a Sramaneri, you know. So they go first time, so they go to check, do they infringe any rule or not? Oh, they ask them, do you drink tea or not? They say, yes, Chinese tea we drink. They say, no, according to Vinaya, the tea is actually is considered as food. So you are all disqualified. So they come back again. Have to go start everything again, you know, for I think 1 or 2 years become Sramaneri. So they go second time. Then also something wrong in some way. Also cannot again. So they know this. How come so difficult? For certain people, maybe for some people, 5 precept, 10 precept, Sramaneri, Bhikkhuni, so easy. So easy. But for some, they don't know why. Just something wrong in some way. Quite hard for them to go through the ordination program. So some in the ordination ceremony, there will something happen, just make them have to give up. It happened in this way. And some are even after the higher ordination, okay, so they are meditate in the meditation center, but still got obstacle happen. Why? Because her previous life husband come to look for him. So finally go back. So go back to marry already. And then the monk congratulate to you all. What to do? Because they try already, they just cannot, they just cannot let go once they stay to each other, you know. So they mentioned to me, so meaning to say obstacle is there, you know. So you have to go through it, you have to pass through it. But as I say, never mind, since you all, keep the precept good, so you, you renounce, then you marry, then you'll be fine. So if you feel boring already for the life of being married, then you can become a monk and done again. They say, yes, we plan for it. See or not? So we have to see things in the long term, don't hear people that, oh, they're disrupted already. We are so disappointed. The whole world ruined. No. There's still got opportunity to go back again, as long as they keep the precept well. Okay, so get it? Okay, yeah. Okay, so let's take a look. So from here, we will know this. See or not? Let's take a look. You see, at least 20. That's what Yung Sin count. The extra 2. So who are the extra 2 people? The extra 2, they are the one who hold the ceremony. You go to Chinese, there's got 1 people they are using the bell, right? Ding 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 ding. They are the one. So the extra 2 is the one who hold the bell one, just to run the ceremony. So you will count there is extra 2. See, at least 20, you see. So 3 preceptor and 7 monk and the witness. If let's say, you see, if let's say in the Dharma, not flourishing, at least 3 preceptor and 2 witness is required. 3 preceptor and 2 witness. Well, it happens in where? It's in the Myanmar. For Myanmar, they define themselves is in the places of where the Dharma is not flourishing. So for them, it's so simple. Just 3 people, they can have a higher ordination already, because they define themselves, it's not the India. So they interpret that in India you need 10 people, 10 preceptor. But if you're not in India, just 3 will be enough. So they have a different way to interpret it. Okay. Then you see pre-regulation garment. The garment is what? Class, this is the garment. Let's see. In Chinese, we call it as a san yi. San yi bo. Let's see. Yeah, class, before you become a monk, You must be ready a bowl, and then 3 pieces of the cloth, 3 regulation garment. You have to prepare for it. The more, I mean, this type of cloth is more close to Shakyamuni time. The 3 pieces of cloth is enough to cover the whole body. So the cloth itself is identity as a monk, but also to cover the body. But for Chinese Buddhism, it's a little bit different. You see or not? For Chinese Buddhism, you see, actually, we already wear the shirt. So after wearing the shirt, we cover 3 pieces of the garment, and as a symbol. The 3 pieces of the garment, for us, is a symbol for me. It doesn't serve as a cloth because I'm wearing the cloth already, right? But for Thailand, Thai monk and Myanmar monk, they don't have any shirt. So it serves as a shirt to cover the body, the 3 pieces of garment, and also it serves as identity and as a symbolic for a monk. Okay. Then next. Okay, so that's all. Let's see. The instructor, we call it as acharya. 3 preceptor. You need 3 preceptor to help you. Okay, Bhikkhu Bhikkhuni, we call it as a full precept because we call it as a near completion because close to Nirvana. As a Bhikkhu and Bhikkhuni, we now got 5 categories. So if you infringe on the first category, you are considered chopping your head already. You'll be kicked out from the community. So this is category number 1. The category number 2, 3, 4, 5 is lighter and lighter. The second category, you need 20 people to help you for the repentance. And you need a lot of people. And then the rest is I mean, it's not that complicated. So I mean, especially holding the money after the noon time is under category 3 and 4. So according to Shakyamuni, after some negotiation between the monk, then we can decide whether we want to hold the 3rd or 4th grade or not. How extent we want to go, we can just decide ourselves. But the category number 1 and 2, there's no negotiation. You have to straight follow number 1. There's no negotiation. That's why once you heard that, some monk or nun, if they involve in sexual activity, so they have to disrobe. Or some they involved in killing people, they have to disrobe. Okay, and then if they, let's say they always I mean they lie to the people that they got psychic, they have to disrobe. So this is the most serious offenses. Okay. Then next, let's take a look. So we finish here. So we go to the next verse. It's number 84 as the violation of the 4 most serious precepts. Okay, yes. Let's see. Everybody try already. Okay, Sally, your turn to read this violation.
Violation of the 4 most serious precepts: killing people, taking what is not given, having sex, and telling serious lies will destroy the nature of Saramana. Of the 250 bhikkhus precepts, 8 of the bhikshus precepts are the most serious. If they are violated, it's like a tree being uprooted, or a person being beheaded, or defeated in a battle in which the other side triumphs completely. If one violates the most serious precepts, one can be described as being dead to the Sangha. The first 4 is the precept not to kill. As one of the most serious precepts, this means not killing people, whether one does it oneself or send others to do the work. It also includes abortion and similar acts. Killing is also prohibited in 5 precepts and the 10 precepts. The second precept is not to take what is not given, which is stealing. This is primarily the stealing of money, but it includes taking anything without the consent and with the intent to steal, regardless of methods utilized. The Buddha established that only a theft of more than 5 coins constitutes a violation. However, what does 5 coins mean? Since currency systems are vary, why did Buddha set up such a criterion? He did so because, according to the secular law of Magadha at the time, anyone who stole more than 5 coins would be sentenced to death. If taking what is not given subjects one to death penalty according to the law of the particular time and place, then this constitutes the violation of one of the most serious precepts. This is probably the Buddha's original meaning. Third, having sex is absolutely forbidden, no matter what form it takes. Conjugal relations or sexual relations between people and animals, one who has sex for even a very short time violates this serious precept. The Buddha Dharma differs from Neo-Confucian scholars who emphasize physical chastity. However, for this precept to be broken, the mind must have both sexual desire and sensuous gratification. If one is forced to have sex, one's mind is devoid of sensual pleasure, then one has not violated this precept. The fourth most serious precept forbids telling the most serious lies, claiming to be enlightened when one is not, claiming to have transcendental powers without them, or falsely claiming to see spirits and ghosts in order to attract devotees. Also prohibited is glorifying oneself or someone else as a highly virtuous person or a sage, or purposely appearing to be mystical so as to delude people. These most serious evil acts destroy the true Dharma of Buddhism and are opposed to sincere practice.
Okay, okay, stop here. Yeah, please highlight the point. Okay, class, we go back to the simple 5 precepts. Okay, so for number 1, let's take a look. Yeah, okay. Class, basically these 4 most serious precepts we call it as a parachika. Parachika means beheading. So like just chop your head once you infringe it. Number 1 is regarding the killing, as we mentioned here. All right. Then the second is about the sexual misconduct, sexual activity. Even though husband and wife previously is husband and wives, they are infringed from having it. Okay. And the third one is about the second is stealing. The third is the sexual misconduct. The third one is stealing. In Buddha time, the rules in the Makata, you will be sentenced for the capital punishment for stealing. It happened in the Makata. Let's take a look. See where is the Makata? Is it? Makata. Makata in the Indian map. Let's take a look. Now see, class here is the Makata. It's somewhere. It's quite wide the area. It includes. It includes Bangladesh a little bit. Then cover to this area. So at that time, fine coins of stealing is equivalent to you will be sentenced for capital punishment. So Buddha time also, if you steal 5 coins, then you'll be kicked out from the Sangha community. But nowadays, it is not practicable because no matter how much money you steal now, especially as a government officer, $1 billion for stealing, but maybe the most is the whole life sentence only. There wouldn't be capital punishment. Am I right? How about China? Will China impose capital death sentences for the stealing big money? Elena, yes. China will. China, yes. Okay, possible only. But not many countries still impose for the stealing. Then the last one is about the no lying. So meaning to say nowadays, it's quite hard for you. Because a 5 coin is different today. So there's no death sentences for the stealing. Then the last one is, let's take a look. It's about this. So number 4 is about telling the lie. You see, if you're claiming you can able to see the spirit and the ghost to attract devotee, then you will consider, have a major offenses in lying already. So that's why you know this or not. Why previously there's one very famous people he can attract people in the whole stadium. Then he will say, oh, from once I see you, I'm able to see there will be some totem above your head that I can predict what happened to you. Basically, from Bang, they are not daring to do so. It's because it is quite closely related to this Vinaya precept. If let's say you are skeptical, if let's say your purpose is to attract more devotee, then you may infringe on the 4th precept already. Okay. I also noticed some layman organization because every July they do Fa Hui, right? In order to attract more people, they will just show people the photo. You see, during previous Fa Hui, we take the photo, we see so many light. Then maybe a lot of bodhisattva, a lot of ghosts come. So please, in my place. Oh well, if you do it this way, you have a tendency to attract people by telling people all this experience. It's not that good. The reason is because the calf also have this type of experience. People will confuse whether you are calf or not calf. The best way is through education. Tell people the proper dharma to attract people to come to join your ceremony, not through this. If let's say, if all this is first one, then even worse. Okay. So the last paragraph, why your turn to replace those are.
Those who violate these 4 serious precepts destroy the essential nature of the Sramana. They also lose their Sramana qualifications, the qualifications of a monastic person. Sramana, as noted earlier, means diligent stopping. That is, diligently practicing the way and stopping all evil conducts. By violating these 4 serious precepts, one thereby loses monastic qualifications. One will be expelled from the Sangha with one's monastic qualification anew. Not only is one no longer a bhikkhu, one is not a Sramanera leader. However, if one commits a sexual violation and immediately realizes it and is remorseful, one can request not to be expelled from the Sangha, thereby remaining a Sramana and receiving and keeping the bhikkhu precepts. No matter what, however, one will not accomplish the way and become a sage in this life.
Thank you so much. Okay, please highlight the point. Okay, class, take a look. You see, if you violate 4 of this precept, you will destroy the essential nature of the Sramanera, then you lost the Sramanera qualification already. You know? So that's why if you realize that you have to be remorseful, and then one can request not to be expelled from the Sangha, thereby remaining a Sramanera and receiving and keeping the bhikkhu precept. If let's say you after the higher ordination, if you violate the most serious one, maybe you just remain as a Sramanera. Okay, that is the one. Maybe you are allowed to do so. You see, by violating these 4 precepts, the losses monastic qualification will be expelled from the Sangha community. Okay, so if you got remorseful, then you can just asking not to be expelled. But one thing is, you just remain as a Sramanera. That's all. Okay. So this is the 5 precepts. Okay.